Welcome back. We have with us someone who's won a lot of bids, Tata Power. They have won bids for two more distribution companies in Odisha. Joining us now is Mr. Praveer Sinha, Managing Director and CEO. Good morning, Mr. Sinha. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. If you can give us whatever color you can on these two DISCOMs that you have won. What is it in terms of money? What is it in terms of margins and other details?
Thank you, Latha, and first of all, compliments to you and CNBC TV18 on the 21st anniversary.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, this has been a good beginning for us. We got the two bids in Odisha. Sometime back, we had got one more, which was the CESU, which we took over on 1st June. So this is an interesting growth plan for Tata Power in distribution. We started the year or ended the last year with just 2.7 million consumers, and we added the CESU, which added another 2.7, so 5.4. We have got these two DISCOMs, so that's another 4.4 million consumers. So we are nearly 9 million consumers, hopefully by end of this year. We of course have bid for one more, and we expect that we may also win that. So that will add another 2 million. So I think it's a good start. What is important about Odisha is that unlike Delhi, which was mostly in the urban area, the Odisha is a combination of urban and rural area, and improvement over there in terms of the surveys, in terms of reliability, in terms of the financial, employee morale. I think this will be a precursor to many more distribution opportunities in the country for the private sector.
Okay, Mr. Sinha, good morning. This is very interesting because this is the private sector getting into the DISCOM business in the state. So tell us a little more about the entities themselves. What are the legacy dues, if any? I mean, are they profit making? How is the current tariff structure? And will these two DISCOMs be profitable for you?
Like any other state DISCOM, all the DISCOMs in India, excepting for a few, they have been loss making, or they get this support from the government in terms of subsidy, and also in terms of the tariff fixation done in such a way so that they sustain their operation. But by and large, I would say that most of the DISCOMs are not very good in terms of the adoption of technology, the basic or the fundamental technologies of distribution automation, SCADA, GIS has not been done, the ERP has not been implemented, the billing solutions is not there. So I think all in all, we do find that the DISCOMs, they require a huge amount of improvement. For us also, this is a very challenging task because the area is huge. The area that we got in CESU is something like 30,000 square kilometers. Just to give you a context, Delhi is about 1,500 square kilometers. Mumbai city is 1,500 square kilometers. So it's a huge area that we need to cover. And it's a mix of urban and rural population. And the services are much lower than what is expected in today's environment, especially the advanced DISCOMs which are there globally. So there is a huge scope for improvement. The billing solutions are not right. In fact, they themselves do not know how many consumers have been billed. The collection is not happening over there, so the collection efficiency is very low. And also the automation that is required to figure out that how much is really being billed and collected is not there. So I think if we take care of all these things, we definitely feel that one is that we will improve the quality of service. The other is these DISCOMs are fundamentally going to be profitable.
Mr. Sinha, 1 minute. Mr. Sinha, 1 minute. What we are trying to arrive at is what is the impact on P&L? For instance, what are the AT&C losses? Or what are the dues that are expected from customers, backdated dues? What percentage of the dues, of the money that you collect will be yours to keep?
Okay, so let me try to address each of these questions. First is the AT&C loss, which was supposed to be when we took over. for example, CESU on 1st of June, that was somewhere in the range of 32 to 33%. We've already brought it down to the level of about 27%. And we expect that we will end the year with a number much lower than that. Now, the tariff has been fixed on a certain base AT&C. In case of CESU, it's 23.7. And we expect that possibly in another 6 to 9 months, we will reach that level. So that's as far as the loss, AT&C loss is there. Now, as a regulated entity, we get a return on equity on the capital that is invested in the business. So all the capital that you incur, like in the first year, we'll be incurring about 400 crores on a debt equity of 70-30. So on 30%, we will get a return on equity of 15.5%. So that's the type of return that we are looking in this business. Apart from the upside that we get if we reduce the AT&C loss, better than what is the trajectory that has been mentioned in the bid document. So I would say that if we are able to turn around in a year's time, this becomes highly profitable over and above the return on equity. You also get the incentive for AT&C, incentive for better collection, old dues that you mentioned about. If we collect anything over a certain amount, we get an incentive on that. So there is a 15.5 plus that one expects in this sort of business.
Okay. Mr. Sinha, good morning. I want to come back to that earlier point you were making about the expansion in Odisha for your distribution business. Now I understand that transmission and distribution forms the largest chunk, the largest segment of your overall business, and you're sitting on a revenue base of around 7,800 crores at the end of the first half of the fiscal. What kind of growth do you see within this vertical itself, and any other geographies where you are looking to expand in the next, say, 6 to 12 months?
Right now, our business in transmission and distribution is about 1/3 of our total revenue. We expect that this will become in next 2 years nearly 50% of our revenue, and that is because the addition that has taken place in Odisha. In addition to that, we are also exploring options. The union territories bidding is expected to come up, and we expect that in many of the cities, we will be bidding over there. In addition to that, we do find that there is some discussion that is going on in some of the states, and they have appointed consultants, and they would be going through the process of bidding and finalizing. And we expect that all this will happen in next 12 to 18 months. And we will be one of the biggest players in distribution today with 9 million consumers. We are by far the biggest amongst all the private entities. And we expect that going forward, this will be one of our main line of business, apart from the renewable business and some of the new businesses on EV charging and home automation.
Okay. Mr. Sinha, how much is your revenue coming from renewables? That's one question. And secondly, now the government is saying that they will do PLIs even for renewables. Are you an interested party?
Right now, our renewable is also 1/3 of our total revenue. But going forward, this will also increase, and this will continue to be 1/3, because not only are we going very strong in our large utility scale renewable projects, but we are also going very strong in our rooftop and also in the solar pumps and microgrids. The other area that we are doing huge foray is in our EPC business. We have a manufacturing plant in Bangalore, which we are expanding, and it is becoming double by January. Secondly, we are also exploring options to set up a large manufacturing facility. So I think all in all, we will have, I would say, we will continue to have nearly 1/3 of the revised revenues that will happen in next 2-3 years from renewable. And then, of course, the transmission and distribution will be large. So this is as per our overall plan, where we said that we will grow in some of these businesses, while in our existing operations, we will maintain and we will continue to improve the performance parameters.
I think what the street also liked is the fact that you have managed to reduce your debt quite a bit, but still sitting at a whopping 36,000 crores on the consolidated entity. How do you plan to reduce it further by the end of the year, or the end of the next calendar year perhaps?
Yeah, now we started 2 years back with 48,000. This year beginning we started with 43,000. And in just 9 months, we are talking of 36,000. So there has been huge improvement and reduction in the debt amount. We are in discussions for our InvIT, and if that takes place in next, and which we expect will happen in next quarter, we do expect that end of the year we will close with about 25,000. We have about 11,000 odd debt in our renewable business, in our large utility scale renewables, and that will get transferred out. So we expect that will be a very healthy 25,000 by end of this financial year.
Okay, so the InvIT is the key trigger to watch out for as far as the debt reduction plan goes. Mr. Sinha, pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for taking out the time and being with us on the show today. Well, on that note, we do have to take a break. On the other side, another interesting conversation lined up. We will chat with the management of Blue Star. B. Tyagarajan joins in. We'll talk